What up? My bad. I had. I'll explain. It was a bit chaotic. Went to go get dinner. Swing by the store real quick. So I left a few hours before the live feed. About the time that I said it. I gave myself plenty of time. Had nothing but ignorant people that I run into at the store. On the way back, there is a parade, like a burnout thing where they're doing. I think it's a road shutdown. Uh, so running in here blind at the last second. So I'm trying to get into live mode, but I really didn't have time to prep and prepare. Dano, what's going on, brother? You're on the road home. Right on. What's going on, Billy? So, I have, if at some point, like, we feel like the audio is kind of jacked up, I do have these headphones that I could use. I found them again, finally. But I think for the most part, my audio works. So, did I miss somebody? Peter, what's up, man? Climber Clint, how are we, brother? So, we're, I believe, episode 27. And, yeah, I had all these intentions. I didn't even, so if I try to rock a tree shirt from, like, a follower, a subscriber, a friend, or something along those lines, or a brand. I found this one today. So I don't know if any of you follow him. It's on Instagram. It's Sean Digby, and he hooked me up a while back. I've had it for a long time, so dug it out of my pile of clothes and was like, "Whoa, where'd that come from?" So I did miss some videos this week where normally I would have seen everybody's stuff, like, and I have some things to say about this, which I don't like, but that's usually what these live feeds are anyways, just me doing a bunch of complaining and whining and teasing and poking, and it's just what's fun to do. Been out the past few days sick, fever and nausea. Oh, damn, man. That's no good. So, Dano, let's start with Dano since Dano's here. Then that was gnarly, man. Dan, let's kind of set the scene. Dan was working up a pine that had fell into, I'm not sure if it was another pine. I can't really remember. But tree fell over into this one, and there's like high voltage wires on the back side, and it's like balanced against it. So if it comes off this way, it's going to the high voltage wires, and it turns out that's the way the roots wanted to pull it anyway. So Dano had to work up his magic with ropes and rigging and keeping a hold of it, and I, like, for me at that exact moment, that was so relatable. Like, I was in the middle of trying to figure out how to edit this video together of probably one of the gnarliest things I've ever took on for like a single day project. So I drove for this video. It's coming. Well, I have it. It's done, and I can upload it for you guys. I just let's do it tomorrow. I'll upload it for you guys tomorrow. It's a 30-minute video, a little over 30 minutes, which is like double, maybe triple what I normally do. So a few of you said that you enjoyed the longer videos, so that's what I did. It's the whole process of trying to, and Dano understands this, is create separation. When you have a tree that falls over into another one, you can work the stuff down, which you should, to that's not having has no tension or pressure on it. So take care of all that stuff, minimize the whole project, the whole thing that you're looking at, because it's extremely overwhelming when it's all there. And but you can start to clear your mind and come up. Sometimes it takes clearing the thing before you can get an exact plan. I had a plan for mine from the ground, looking up at it. Then as I got up into it from the ground, I'm gonna be straight with you guys. Let me read a couple of these. Dude said his crew would have taken that down and out in 2 hours. What? Uh, yeah, if you maybe paid for, I don't even know. Like a crane, I think would have been. See, somebody would have got hurt, Dano. Like there's people that can do all. People can jump off bridges when there's like an empty riverbed below it. They're not the smartest people, but they can do it. So I feel like that's what he would have done. He would have put his guys in a situation where somebody would have got hurt. So just silly. But I when I looked at mine, the tree had fell over into another really big oak tree. Both trees had been burnt up in a fire, and it was the whole house burnt down, so it torched the trees, and then the trees died out. It turned out the one that this massive tree's in is actually incredibly hollow. There's like nothing to I can feel it up in it. It's putting pressure onto one stem. There's wires down at the bottom of the hill, right on the hillside. It was just, and it looked from the ground. I had drove 2.5 hours. I was told the tree was still alive, and that it had roots, and that it was green. And then I get there, and the only thing that was green on it was the vines. The tree had been dead for a long time and was crumbling nasty. So, no crane access? Well, it looked tight, so I don't doubt that at all, man. 2 hours in the water. Yeah, Tom hit it. That's exactly right, Yoder. That is it. Yeah, he hit it nail on the head there. So that's what would have happened is if someone that didn't realize, they would have tried to make a cut to release it. Which, dang, you know what? I got so far behind on videos that I didn't even get to. Dang, I meant to watch one before I started this, especially because I think Climber Harry um, ended up like having a customer like want to fight, or a neighbor wanting to fight him and get ignorant with him on video. So I missed that though. Dang it. I started it and I was like, I'm not paying attention right now. I stopped and I was like, I'll go back to it. In the up, chilling with the daughter. Right on, Vampire. Hole in the neighbor's house. Yeah, yeah. We watching Tree Talk Saturday. It's a good, it's a good thing to be doing. I have a lot of other things that I used to do on these about this time, and none of them were good. So it's nice to have a bit of a routine where I'm doing something that's at least not negative to me long term. What's up, John? Dude was pissed that we're making noise in the morning. Tree climber Harry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right on. Yeah, that guy was ignorant. So I mean, I've that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think I'd have stuck him in the mouth after he got up to my face and got aggressive like that. I'd have pie faced him at best. But yeah. The bad part is like I get that dude being aggravated hearing all that noise, but the guy's just doing his job, man. You sitting there keeping them from doing their job is gonna make that chipper run longer. So that's funny though. Yeah, Billy, how are you from the hurricane? John was asking. Granddaughter's in bed, so you get time. Right on, Clint. Hey, always, I definitely do the family stuff if you have the family stuff to do. Don't come hang out with my ignorant ass. I'll be here every Saturday, only because I'm just a creature of habit and I keep on a routine. I don't change. Like, I don't like change at all. I would prefer to stay on a set routine at all times. It's like ideal for me. But I've dealt with the exact same thing more than once. Yeah, I get it though. I get people being aggravated. I purposely, if I'm local, guys, I'm being straight up. I don't start until about 10 a.m. because of that. But this time working. Yeah, and I mean, after I don't understand what they screaming at you and trying to aggravate you and take your time and your attention away from your job could get one of you hurt, for one, and it's just gonna make it take longer. It's so silly, but yeah. So check out Harry. That's Tree Climber Harry is what it is, isn't it? Isn't that how you his name is? Tree Climber John Bob. What's up? To about 8:30 ish. Yeah, I mean, I think it's reasonable. If it's something crazy, well, I just and plus at my where I'm at and age wise and stuff, like I prefer about that because I don't sleep good. I don't fall asleep until like 1, 2 o'clock every morning. Cannot get to bed before that, and I don't want to take medicine, and I don't want to drink alcohol. So, but my daughter told me to try melatonin. Maybe I try that. I just don't want to do anything that'll give me a hangover. But it just so I don't. I'm not a morning person. I'm rude and a jerk in the morning. But I mean, I know it. So I just try to avoid people. Tree Climber Harry. Yeah, Billy's got it right there. Check out Tree Climber Harry. His videos are just amazing. I think his channel's bigger than mine now. I'm pretty sure. So it's been a little bit since I've checked, but yeah, I'm pretty sure his channel's bigger than mine now. Um, I I've watched so much of his stuff. I really dug it when he tried to do the Ninja Warrior stuff. I thought that was hilarious to see like a tree guy dominate all the like grip strength stuff. But once had a neighbor of a customer call my boss and tell him I caused her. I just started. It was more. Yeah, see, people will be having too much time on their hands and just trying to. I don't know what kind of joy you get from wrecking somebody's day. I've been mad. Like you, just having a little bit of restraint is such a good quality to have, and I think a lot of people need to work on that. Like having restraint all the time, but having knowing how you are when you get angry. So like instantly, if I get irate, I'm like I try to stop and think about it for a second. Sometimes I just go right back to irate. That's just because it's like no, this is justified. Do it. But I was driving home one day down the highway. I got off at an exit, and the guy was mowing. Maybe he's a city worker, but he was mowing on this big zero turn, and he had the flapper thing held up with a bungee, and he launched a rock out and cracked my window. So I got irate because well, the thing was, when I passed by him, I'm like, oh, dude, you dick, why would you have that thing up? You're gonna bust somebody's window. Then he made a loop, and I was waiting at the light. He came up next to me, and then bam, busted my window. So I had people in my car. I think my mom and dad were actually in the car, and I instantly just like I think it was truck though, but I hit the shoulder and drove off into the grass and just stomped across the grass at him and stopped him on the mower, and was like, "Dude, you busted my window out. I need your boss's number or whatever." And he's like, man, are you serious? Oh my God. And you could tell he looked down like he forgot to put that back down. And he's like, I'm going to lose my job. But I understand, man. And he like, I think I wrote his number down and everything. And I was so mad at the time. I was pissed. But then I like looked and I'm like, it's just a little bitty crack as I left. And I had a second to think about it. And I'm so glad that I waited because I was like, I'll wait a second. And I drove about halfway home, and about halfway I reached up there and grabbed it and wadded it up and threw it out the window. And I was like, I just admitted to littering. It's just a little piece of paper, but I, I threw it away. Let's just say that. 'Cause I don't know if I threw it out the window. I just know that I wadded it up and just said, forget it. Because it ain't like I was in a mint vehicle. Like my vehicle was pretty beat up as it was, so it was like I don't want to make that guy lose his job. I was so mad. I wanted my window fixed. I wanted him to have some repercussions for what, being an idiot. That stuff goes right through me when people do that. Like, if you're weed eating, you should try to look up if you're on a highway. Don't bust somebody with something, all because you don't care. So, I had that happen before, and I'm so glad I waited because I was like, no, I ended up not doing nothing about it. And then afterwards, I thought about it, and I'm like, man, I hope he didn't go back and be like, so, and tell his boss and end up getting in trouble and still lose his job. But it was just like, he didn't like bust my window. He put a little spider, little round spot where it just, and it made a little, I don't know, just a little spot. It's probably about the size of a quarter with all the little lines that it did. It did about that far, and it never spread. So it was what it was. I'm glad that I showed a little bit of restraint. Sometimes you just have a bad day and you need somebody to throw you a bone, and they don't, and instead they go for your throat. And that's a tough. Those are tough days to deal with, but they happen. A lot of us have to deal with them, but check that guy. I didn't. I know, Billy. I'm surprised too. I instantly felt my blood pressure go up as the guy was screaming at him and being like, because I think he told him he'd call the cops if he came back. So then he came back and then got in his face. I would have thought I told the guy to leave me alone. If he comes back, he's only coming back to do something to me, and I'd have stuck him in the mouth, like, or just shoved him down. Like he kind of, I couldn't really tell. I think his face was blurred, but I don't know. Sometimes you can just let people know to get out of your bubble, and that will escalate it enough to make them realize, oh, I've got it to the point of being physical, and I don't think I want to do this. So I don't even think some people think being hit is even an option. They feel like they can do anything they want to you, and if you was to hit them, your life is over. And it's like, no, no, there's a line you can cross where I feel like getting your bell rung is warranted. Law doesn't, but I do. I'm still a bit of a hillbilly. I live in the country. My old work shirts used to say, right on. Yeah, because you can see people. People are just, I don't know. There's a lot of shady people out there. That's why when you run into those good people, man, you just gotta like let them know you appreciate them. Yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool. I mean, we'll try to until I tell them. Better go talk to GP. Yeah, yeah. Broke a screen door once. Snowboarding. That's snow blowing. Dang it, man. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I mean, it does happen. Um, one day I was helping my cousin, and he was all bummed when he pulled up. He's like, I was like, what's up? What's wrong with you? You're bummed, man. And he's like, yeah, just scraped the side of his truck was all scraped up where he hit this like light pole as he was backing the trailer in, and it had like a concrete slab at the base of it, so the concrete just rubbed his truck paint, and he had a beautiful truck. Did that, and then before that, as they were there getting ready to leave at his house, he was weed eating and busted his worker's window out of his truck. Brand new truck, dude. Chris, what's up, man? How are you, brother? How's the wife and daughter? Crossed the line in the mountains yesterday, and now he's in the hospital. Oh no. Oh no. People's patience, I'm sure, is above the accessible level. Yeah. Pretty good, man. I just this tomorrow's my daughter's birthday. She's 19. Um, and she wants a tattoo, and I feel like there's a fly in here. I'm gonna end up having to buy my daughter a tattoo, and then I'm like, no, absolutely. And then she blows out her candles, and it says 19, and I'm like, well, yeah, well, I still look at her like that little kid, but she isn't. Well, tell her we said howdy to Chris. Bringing in supplies. Oh man, yeah. There is there is still repercussions for for crappy actions these days. It's just so a lot of times you get away with them, um, and I'd say 80% of life nowadays. There's that you can't. But there's those few to where you know what? There's money inside to bail me out. There's certain things that just like I don't let people walk on me. I try to be really nice. I hate when people say that they're nice. I try to treat people as good as I can. I love helping people. So, man, it really gets me when I feel like somebody's trying to do me dirty. Because I'm like, I would never. Like, I can't sleep at night. And I'm like, maybe it's because I got to do nothing but. So I'm like, if I would never get any sleep if I was. Because I would stew on the repercussions. I've never done anything bad that didn't have a repercussion. I paid for everything, I feel like. So it's like, I don't know. Some people just amaze me with what they can justify in their head. What's up, Brandon? J K, what's up? We got the usual suspects up in here now. All right, so dude, last week, metal and wood. Let's do a little bit. Let's see what we can get into. This guy, he's just I I dig it. And I feel like for some reason, maybe it's the hurricane going on that he's dealing with. He he didn't post much. I can sleep anywhere, anytime. Right on. I wish I had it like that, man. I can't. But and I'm somebody who has a lot of trouble after sleeping, getting going after I get up. I'm very druggy. As soon as I start something, it's like say I'm going, I'm good. I'm locked in for the whole day until it's time to go to bed again. But I do I do drink like 5 hour energies and Red Bull. So probably not the best for you, but yeah, I am one of them people. And I'm one of them people. I'm even like on the upper level of ignorant. I buy the extra strength ones because I feel like they give me more energy. So it sounds so stupid when I say it out loud. Oh, buy this little shot. But yeah, I still feel incredibly awkward doing it because anytime you go to drink one, I feel like people are looking at you like you're drinking whiskey, like those little shooters of whiskey. But yeah, my dad. I even tried to get my dad to drink one time. He's like, it didn't do nothing. Didn't do nothing. You wasted money. And I'm like, damn. Okay. He's got water in his soles. Yeah, but probably burger time. Burger time. I seen all the burgers. You guys are crazy. Oh, didn't work hard enough. Yeah, yeah. I mean, dude, I will. See, that's not necessarily true either. Like, cause I get woke up nonstop from Charlie horses too. Um, if I work too much and do too much that day and was on my legs straining too much, um, like I try to exercise always, skateboard, like I do a lot of just like stuff for kickboxing and stuff. So I always try to stay as active as I can. But yeah, I pay for it sometimes. Usually in the evenings when I'm woke up all night long with Charlie horses. So it's a bit of a bummer, but you deal with it. Run 5 miles, do push-ups. Yeah, dude, I've had days where I've never stopped. I'm also one of them people. Like I don't. I've never bought those or energy drink. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's. I feel like there's one side or the other. Some people are just. My wife's a morning person. Like she loves getting up early. I'm just not. I'm just not. Like staying up late, trying to make sure the people that are roaming around, walking the. Some we get some shady characters in the evening. So, like my neighbor just got his Cadillac converters cut off. So I'm a coffee and milk guy. I'm a coffee guy too. Like I even, this is probably why I don't go to sleep in the evening. I do drink a cup of coffee in the evening just to kind of chill out. And if I'm being honest, I'll be completely transparent. So I used to have this addiction thing where I was well, addiction thing where I used to take opiates. That was my issue. Was I blew my knees out, got addicted to pain pills for many many years. Had a really ridiculously expensive habit. After the doctor got in trouble and I couldn't find him, I couldn't get a doctor to write them to me. So like this went on for years and years, and then I got put into treatment. Well, I put myself into treatment, and I did that for like I don't know a lot of years. But when I used to take my medicine, I would drink coffee because I thought the hot coffee would melt them down faster to make them kick in quicker. So I still have that routine, but I take ibuprofen now, and yeah, and the coffee's still there. I'm a creature of habit, man. It's really hard for me to beat and break a habit. So to the point that I feel like I needed to just keep the habit, but cut a piece of it out. So I don't know. I've never claimed to be like, don't idolize me at all because I definitely am not perfect. By no means. I'm a long ways off. Yeah, those Charlie horses are murder. Dude, they're so bad, Chris. It's so miserable when you wake up and that happens. So I looked up like ways to stop it. I get these little like potassium pouches that look like they're like Bayer head like headache powder. You just put it in your water. Um, Or the thing that I always do is drink pickle juice. But I looked it up, and pickle juice technically does not do anything for a Charlie horse, but the ingredients of pickle juice shut off and block a receptor in your brain that tells you to have a Charlie horse. So, letting your pig loose, that's funny. I had a company crew approach me saying he needed me to stop the cranes I couldn't reach because he didn't have his harness. I could smell alcohol on his breath. Ah, dang. Yeah, dude. I have a buddy. I have a buddy that like I kind of talk to at the skate park when I go skating, and they're I'm trying to think of the what whiskey it is. It's like American, or maybe it's one of them whiskeys with honey in it, and it's the little bottles. They're everywhere. I have to pick them up every time I go because he gets drunk and then doesn't care about nothing and starts throwing them all over the place. And man, he must buy so many of them. But I don't want them laying around when the kids show up, so I usually just pick them up every time before I leave. Feel better, I'll post it. Oh, it's new. Yeah, yeah. One of the things that really got me all day long, but absolute zero time. Yeah, ground pounder, I'm the same. Routines are very tough to shake, John. Certain people, I think we really, you know, fixate and need that routine at times, but that's why it becomes hard to try to try to lose it afterwards. But that's awesome, ground pounder. Dude, it took me so long. Um, I spent so much money, like so much money, and I spent a ridiculous, almost to the same amount on rehab. So it's like I don't know, but it was a means to an end, and I don't drink now. I never really been a big drinker. Well, I was around like between 18 and like 21, 20, maybe 22, and then I kind of got away from it. But yeah, the opiate thing. Here's a messed up story. So as I got clean, I started to question. I was like, I don't know if I can. If I'm being honest, I don't know if I could do what I did without them. Um, I feel like they made me brave, so I could do some of the things I did. I feel like they made me limber, so that I could do some of the things I did. And I feel like they knocked an edge and gave me a confidence and a boost in energy that I don't know if I can do again. Um, so like first day or so, I go to like my uncle had tree work, and so I went to go help him. And when I did that, he knew my issues, and he like pulls out a bottle of. Let's get specific about what they were. Uh, Opiates, pain medicine, and like takes some, and then puts the bottle in the middle. He's going to give an estimate, and he's like, "Have a few. You can have as many as you need." And he walked off, and I'm like, my blood pressure shot up. I felt my face get so red, and I'm like, "Whoa, no, dude, you cannot do this!" Like, instantly my head's trying to justify it. You can have a couple. Your wife won't know. Nobody will know. You're not getting the piss test no more. And there's just this one time. And it'll help you work. You'll feel better. You won't be hurting so bad. it took everything in my power. I had to get out of the truck and go sit on the tailgate because of it. Because I'm like, dude, I can't. You can't do that to me. You can't. It was. I was so fresh into it. Only thing I really had on my side was maybe a few months of real sobriety, and then I was taking. I was actually taking at a clinic, taking opiate blockers for like multiple years, and I weaned myself off of those too. So I don't know. It really messed me up, and I told him I was like, I don't want to ride with nobody anymore. And I think that's why I became such kind of a loner off on my own, is because of that. Because when I was around people, they were always talking about stuff like that, and I just couldn't do it. I had to surround myself with other people or no one. People always say, go make new friends, or be okay with being by yourself, because that's the only way it works. You can't go around those people that are giving you that option all the time. You just don't need the option until you gain the confidence and strength. Then you put yourself wherever you want and test yourself, see how you can. But if you want to be for sure, just stay away from it. Yeah, Chris, alcohol's a rough one. I have a lot of Indian in me, and I feel like I'm just ignorant, and I lose control of my emotions and my some of my actions when I drink alcohol too much. So yeah, ground pounder. It's it is what keeps me. John. I think we're very alike, brother. Yeah, I think, dude, I shout out to the people that deal with alcoholism and can deal with that, because if I'm being honest, it's so readily available. It's everywhere. It's not like every time. Okay, I just told you a story where I had to get away. I could easily get away from that bottle. And then the ride home, I thought about it the whole time that we were in that truck and they were in there. Before that, I didn't even know he took pain medicine. And but the whole ride home, it's all I could think about. And I'm like, man, you could have them like your times were about home, and then after we're home, people will know. You could take them now. And then I'm like, the only way I could get myself to stop was I was like, he'll snitch on me. He'll tell somebody that he gave me some so that he can look cool. And then I kind of stopped. But alcohol's not like it. Every time, if you're a smoker, if you need to go in and pay for your gas, it's everywhere. Like if it's just everywhere, man. Grocery stores, it's not like pain medication is all over the grocery stores and in every gas station. So easy to obtain. So that's what I think I have working to my benefit. You headed out, Peter? You gotta get some sleep. You got storm damage stuff. I figured you'd be busy, brother. It surprised me when you actually hopped in here. Yeah, Dan, I can't drink because I get like a headache now, like a really bad headache. And also, what I had going for me with that medication that I was taking, that was the opiate blockers. What helped me there was the fact that if I took pain medication, that medicine, I couldn't feel it anyway. So I was just wasting money. So I'm like, what's the sense? Because believe me, I tried a few times at the beginning. They they were straight up. The dude, like counselor guy, was like, when I first got there, was like, keep doing what you do and try to minimize it. Take this, and eventually, when you take this, it will make you want to stop that and just wing yourself off, and you can increase yourself up. Like, I need more. I'm still craving. Need more. It was such a process. It was years, and every day I had to pay like I think it was like 20 something dollars every single day, and I had to drive like 2 hours in the morning. It just, it sucked. Yeah, Peter, that's the worst, dude. The camera's overheating when you're working because usually when it overheats, you'll know it if you're kind of quiet. But if you're into working real hard and you're thinking it's recording and it overheats, I get so mad. It's burnt my batteries up. I have to get new batteries, and I believe probably like I've been saying this for about a year now. But yeah, I need to get batteries. 9 hours of driving, dang ground pounder. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out, brother. Appreciate you, and be safe tomorrow. Okay, I have GP thing. Dang, I got so far behind on comments. He's probably already gone, and I didn't even say bye. That was rude. Then Chris had to go too. Let's see you, Chris. Sorry, brother. If you took off before, I apologize. Hey guys, Mike, what's up? Oh, James, what's up, man? How are you? All right, let's hey. So listen to this. I'm like, we gotta have some metal and wood action. We just have to. Hey, if you guys don't mind, YouTube is like, you guys aren't. A lot of people are telling me they're not even getting notified for my videos, um, or they're being notified like hours or even a day after it's been out. And just if you can hit the thumb button and you don't mind, I appreciate it. You don't have to, but yeah, that would be cool if you want to. So Metalwood, I'm like, he's gotta put out something. So we got a little bit, and we're gonna milk it for everything we can, and I'm gonna try to give you all I can out of this, and we're gonna get a trick tip out of it too, which should be kind of cool. Roberto, how are we? How are you, brother? All right, so I think his name's Steve. I'm gonna call him Skis. So you know what I'm talking about when I say that. So Skis at Metal and Wood is now he put out a video Farmer Tech 200Ts. So the 200T is basically a legendary top handle saw to the point that to feel cool, I even have one in the background. Actually, I have two, but that's not really why it's there. But that's it right there. It needs a little bit of a cleanup and a little TLC before I take it back out and use it. But it's like a legendary saw. They stopped making them a while back, uh, and around 2009 ish or something, maybe. But amazing saw, and they haven't been able to put out a top handle that even gets anywhere near touching it. So that's the issue with most people. They had a lot of issues with the 201 when they came out, and some people got total lemons. Other people got them and loved them. So like I was luckily one of the people that got a 200T, and it's the original MS 200 just T, and amazing saw. I used and abused that saw for years and years and years and years and years and did nothing. I don't even think I changed the spark plug, and it just ran. It just ran. I used it like a log saw at times, but so Skis has put out a Farmer Tech 200. He's calling it a 200T. So this saw's actually not a 200T. At best, it would be a 201. Um, it somewhat resembles the 200T in the design and the look of it, but the 201 does too. So he's putting out these saws, and the reason I kind of give him a little bit of hell is I'm going to give you at the end of this, I'm going to give you the price, the actual price of what one of these saws cost, and then you can talk to him and see what because he makes sure to keep it secret what he sells the saw for. He never gives a price. It's always call me, I'll tell you, because if he was to tell you, it's probably going to make a lot of people mad because you feel like he's taking advantage of people. He's buying Chinese knockoff saws for a very, very low price, and he's reselling them to people here in the United States that don't know any better and making a good chunk of change per saw. But uh, let me see here. Oh, we have a couple wild ones. I'm not even gonna look. Thanks, Billy. So I've been running this the last 193 for the last 5 seasons. Yeah, I think you can get any of them. Those saws. There's a good one in the group. You just gotta hope. Like I have yet to see another 362 run like mine. Mine just for some reason it's got every bit of power that I would want in the thing. The thing's ignorant, and other people don't really. They're like it doesn't have enough power. So I feel like there's a little bit give there, and the tuning, probably has a lot to do with it, getting it exactly tuned correct. But he's selling them saws, and first he shows it. It says, "This is not one of my saws. This is a 200T." Um, okay, there's good and bad on all of them. You're probably right, Billy. I mean, that's my experience at least with them. Is every now and then there's a bad one. Every now and then they don't adjust one correctly, and a person gets it and they don't realize it, and they run the saw and it's too lean and it burns the saw up. So the reason that I feel like a lot of times they're sending their saws out rich is because they don't want you as the consumer to burn the saw up. So they're adjusting them rich. They're air restricting them because of admission standards and stuff. So I feel like with a lot of the saws, you can lean them a little bit. It would do them good and give them a little more airflow, and it changes what these saws how they react, how they respond. So love the 362. Me too, Tom. It is like, man, it may be one of my favorite saws I've ever ran in my life. It's my go-to. When I first got it, people were saying like I asked what kind of bar, they said 18, and I'm like, nah, this thing, the 18 runs crazy, like crazy, because of the smaller bar. It just runs faster. So I'm like, I want to put something bigger. I put a 25 on it. I was told for the longest time you can't do that, and then now I see a lot of people that run 25s on them. So we had a 362 that was good runner till, dang it, my phone's cracked. Ethan ran it over with the, oh, dang it. Yeah, the old dingo will turn a good saw bad. That's just how that works, I guess. I like my 193. It's a good little saw. That's cool. That's cool. And I've got a 193 and a 194. Yeah, both. I think both of those. There's a little bit of like maybe airflow with like the 94 that I feel like is the only issue that I ran into. Same thing with the 150. So, Danny, see when you guys say crazy stuff, I don't even get to read it. Billy is so fast that he takes care of it forever, so you don't even get a chance to like. If you're trying to just bug me, I'm a slow reader, so this is the first time being dumb keeps me from like getting my feelings hurt. So appreciate you, Billy. The 360 is my favorite ground saw. Yeah, John, it's pretty. It's basically the same saw. So like 362, I think is the newer version. So I don't even remember. I don't even remember them doing a 361, but I know they did. And then there was a 362, and it was like, huh, okay. Well, the 261 is a good saw. Yeah, I have. I actually have one, and maybe I ought to do it on like a live feed and have you guys give me a hand tuning the saw out to get it to where it's running right. But Yeah, I have one of the old O29 Pros. A beast of a saw when it runs. It's just since I've gotten it, I had to get new hoses for it because it leaked like crazy, and then I haven't been able to get it adjusted out since. And I just kind of didn't need it at the time, so I left it alone. But I think I should probably get that thing running. Hey, appreciate all the people that hit the thumb button. There's 11 of them now. That's 7. Um, so he says that they're not his saws. Um, that it's their Farmer Tech saws. But he said that him and his buddy put together 19 of them. So I think he probably has sold a few because according to him, they've put together 19 of those 200 Ts, and he only has one. So unless he just gave them away, he sold them, and I'm sure that he did. Um, Actually, I'm not. Everything I say is alleged. I'm a liar. Um, so he says that he needs to order more 200T kits, but then he says he customizes his kits. That's a car salesman's way of fixing a mistake that they just made, and I'll explain. Gamma is good. Gamma is good. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So he says he needs to get more kits, but he had already told you they're not his saws. So then he has to change it a little bit. So he says, I customize my kits. So that way he can tell you that even if you were to order it from Farmer Tech, his is going to be superior. And it doesn't take a whole lot to actually figure that one out. Hello from South Korea. Oh my, Steve better not have sent you. If anyone bought them, I bet they're not happy. Well, hey, if that's really where you're from, welcome. Um, that's a long ways away. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for leaving a comment. I appreciate it. Anyone bought them, I bet they're not happy. Yeah, it seems extremely underpowered and but like I said he built 19 of them, and I here's what I want. I want to see somebody come get a saw from him. Okay. Then I want to see them come back and get another saw and get on camera and say that they're quality products that stand behind it. There's this channel has been going for quite a long time. Maybe I missed it because I don't watch everything. But I have yet to see a video of another human. Are you Chainsaw Master? Eh. Yes, yes. No, not Master. Yeah, pretty much. I just I enjoy them. I use them to do tree work and climb and remove trees and stuff. Um, so what was I saying? I just want to see somebody, not him, say that he's got a quality product and put their face on the camera and stand by it. You know, I've I've yet to see that. That's just one thing that I haven't seen is for just another human that eats, breathes, and runs a chainsaw to say good product. You guys should listen to him. That's what he's missing. And he wonders why he's not getting any respect, why people give him a hard time, because you still to this day are the only person saying they're quality saws and trying to stand behind it. So I would love to see that. I've never seen that yet. So that's my issue with him always talking about his stuff's always the best. It's so good. It's this. It's that. I don't know. I'm not buying it. So maybe. But here's where it gets even better. Never seen a video of them being used. Me, me either, except for by him. He will take a saw outside and cut up a tree. I think he has cut down a tree. I've never actually seen him do it, but I've seen him have a chainsaw in a video, and then I've seen a ladder, then I've seen a tree on the ground. So nothing wrong with ladders, I guess. I don't like them though. So he does use them, but what did I put here? Oh yes, here's where it got so funny. So I'm reading his comments. The first one, the guy says, "I have one of those saws. I've been running it for probably 5 years now. It's a great little saw." So that's one of them things he needs. He needs some good reviews from people. He needs somebody to stand behind it and be like, "This guy took care of me." I've yet to see any of that. So one of the commenters tells him that he's had that saw. He's had it for 5 years. It's a good saw, quality product. He says, "Nice," because he knows those aren't his saws. So if he's like, "Well, you can get more of them, blah 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 from me," he knows that guy. He's not going to waste any more time on that guy because that guy is too smart and knows he can order them himself for very cheap, very very cheap. And I will tell you how cheap as we go here, because I figured a little something out with the help of one of my buddies, and he doesn't even know he helped me, but he did. So one of the commenters, I think, was trolling him and says, "Okay, so he's always he's like, this is our big bore, this is our big bore." I think he even had them put big bore on a sticker that now goes on the saw, which is so crazy to me. I don't even understand him. Um, Someone says you should put a big bore in that, skis, and he says, "Thanks for the idea." Oh, I'll get to researching parts. So, for all you that are interested in a big bore, top handle, 200T that runs at about half power right now, and even if he was able to do all the big bore and the pop up piston and just the timing, it would probably only run as good as a stock 201 or 200T after all that work's been done. But he is now in the process of working on trying to bring the U.S. citizens a big bore 200T. And for any of you who are chainsaw people, that is so funny. That's so funny. So um, be on the lookout for the top handle big bore. Skis is about to take care of everybody. So he is now selling torque wrenches. So he sells boats, or no, maybe he sells boats. He sells boat motors. He's I think he's been caught selling turtles. I think he got Joe for that. He sells everything, man. Now he's selling torque wrenches and sockets. So you should just buy everything from him so that he can make a ridiculous living reselling products. So he's selling torque wrenches. He says that his torque wrench is twice as strong as. Oh my god, I can't sometimes. Yeah, because this is serious. I gotta stop. Don't laugh. He has a torque wrench that is twice as strong as anything on the U.S. market. My issue with that is that the products that he gets are Chinese replicas. You know, there are products that are over here that a lot of times will do the patent will lose. They'll lose the patent. They don't keep it up, and they want to improve a product, so they'll give the patent will expire. So then they can make the product without any issues and not be able to be sued and all that silly stuff. So he's buying a what normally maybe it's a fresh idea because I don't know, but it's just normally his stuff is replicas, and he's back to now he will tell you that his saws are as good, if not better, than OEM, which are the original saws, the actual steels, the actual Huskies. His chainsaws are better than those, and now his torque wrench is twice as good as any other torque wrench in the United States. Yes, he sells a lot of stuff. So you guys should actually. He says, let's see, oh yeah, he says he'll show us how strong it is in action, and then he doesn't do it. He never showed me. Um, I would have bought one, but you didn't show me how strong it was. I was so stoked when he said he was going to do a video and show us how show it in action. My brain instantly went back to him trying to start that old chainsaw and the faces he was making, and I was like, "Oh, I'm about to get a good one here. Please make this video." And then he didn't do it. He lied. Maybe he's gonna do it. He should do it soon, but yeah, he didn't do it. He never did get that chainsaw started either. That's been like 2 weeks now. I bet his shoulder's sore. Then he starts a video by talking about. Oh my. See, now I feel awkward because we have. Okay, this is honestly what he did. He started that video out, and there's like a rubber little ring in his hand and this little pin, and then he's like, "Some of y'all are dirty minded, but I think that's even small for a Chinese man." And like, what? This is how the video started. If you don't believe me, go over to Metal and Wood and watch it yourself. He's so, like, I think he short circuits at times and says some really off the cuff, sus, like, no Diddy stuff. So, that was a weird one. He should never do that again. If I was to give him some advice, never say anything like that again, especially on the internet where people can repeatedly watch it. But he has a lot of those. Yeah, Billy, I don't think he's getting it. He's not ever going to get that sucker started. We got 14 thumbs up there. Thanks, guys. So then, okay, yeah. Then he makes a video called Fat Man Chainsawing in the Rain. And instantly, remember me saying he does go out and he does take these saws and he uses them. I see the videos where he uses them. He did the same thing that he always does. He instantly walks out there, he makes like 1-2 cuts, and he's already got his saw pinched. He is too worried about trying to look cool for that camera and show that he can do every cut that he just like doesn't think like, what should I do here? He started to undercut it because the branch was under tension and had flex in it here. He started to undercut it, which he should have kept going and just finished it. But then he undercut and then he cut on the top. The reason he did that is because for the longest time he would get his bar or his chainsaw stuck and people would tell him, make an undercut first. No, no, no. And then he started making undercuts. Now he makes an undercut for everything. And it's unnecessary. He gets saw pinched, and that's funny. And then he tells people to get out in the rain and use a chainsaw or something. I don't know why. I don't know why he did that. Then, then he does exactly what I have talked about. He gets his saw. We're gonna do the trick tip right now. Okay, so here's where that came up. So he puts out a video where he shows a Husky. No, it's not a Husky. It's his brand saw. It is a 365 and a 372. He says they have flawed switches. He has such a weird obsession with this momentary switch thing. I don't get it. A regular chainsaw switch is just too complicated for him, the on off one. So he's just stuck on this like idea that this momentary switches. I don't like it. I'm looking at. I have a couple Husqvarnas, and all of mine have the same. All right, I'll show you these, but don't tell anybody I have these. But so it just has an off switch there. That's the off switch. There's on. there's choke. There's choke off. If you look, if it works right and you push the choke, you push the button and it's not broke, that'll go in most of the time. Same thing with other saws. That's too tricky. He wants you to buy these silly switches and he thinks that is the reason. Completely thinks that that's the reason that the saws he's selling people are flawed. He says, this is why they're flawed. The switch. He needs to kind of chill, like get over the switch thing. The switch is not that important, man. As long as it grounds out and shuts on and turns off. Shuts on and turns off. I'm starting to like Steve out on you guys. But as long as it turns on and shuts off, it does its job. And just leave it at that. So let me see here. I don't want to lose. Couldn't I even unplug the damn? Yeah, I know. And then he's like trying to tell people this is how you fix it. And then he's like, wish I had some pliers so I could like actually show you what I said I was going to show you. He doesn't show you anything. Then here's the part where I start to give a person like him a bit of razzing. And I get aggravated. He is putting out absolutely wrong information. And the reason for it, I'm a pretty good read of people. That guy's crazy. Yeah, I know. So he's getting complaints apparently, and I'm drawing some conclusions, but this is what it sounds like. He's getting complaints on his 365 and his 362. The guy said, I just filled the oil up 20 minutes ago and it's poured out all over my truck. What do you think his answer was? He screwed up. Yeah, he definitely could. He could mess up a wet dream. He really could. He would probably just, I don't know. I don't even want to say it. So, any guesses why his saw would be dumping oil all over this guy's truck? Because the guy he filled the oil up, then he put the saw in the back of the truck, didn't get a chance to use it, and maybe didn't need it, whatever. But that's what happened. Oil everywhere. He said it poured out pretty quick. So I'm going to show you if your chainsaw does that when it's shut off, there's a couple reasons. And I can show you how and what to do to fix it. His answer, this blew my mind. It can never, when he gets a complaint on a product, he doesn't make these products. He doesn't assemble these products. He grabs them out of a box, puts gasoline with God knows what kind of mix. He's on one with his mix talk. A little bit of oil, starts them, runs them for 2 seconds, shuts them off. Starts them, or let's give him a little bit of credit. A YouTube short lasts 1 minute. He will run a chainsaw for 50 seconds at best. Now he's starting to tell you everything you need to know about chainsaws. Now he's a Now we had the comment a little bit ago where she asked if I was a chainsaw master. No, you would think old Skis is though. He's basically telling you he is. He's going to tell you how this all worked, and left the cap off. That's a lot of times that could do it. Doc Rocks left the cap off. Yeah. He said he overfilled it, and of course it's gonna. Yeah, this is what he said. He says, you filled it. You should never fill it. Then he realizes, yeah, you should be able to fill it. You overfilled it. No, you didn't. Let's do this. I don't understand why I would ever have to do this, but I'll give you a couple reasons why this can happen. This is the oiler. The way that works is you take that cap off, which is all oily right now. So you take the cap off. Let's get the camera over here because I got to show you a couple things. Pull this out. Right. Are we in there? Like somewhere? Okay. The oil cap. The way this works, if you put oil in there and you put too much, it pours out. You put the cap on, No more oil can come out. I don't care how much oil's in this damn thing. No more oil should come out. It don't matter how much you got in here. That don't mean nothing. So your silly excuse of this is why my saw's doing it. No, no, that's not physically possible. It could be a faulty cap. Sometimes these caps are different kinds. They have rubber gaskets on them. Maybe it's not sealing. If you're dealing with an older saw that's got these kind of caps, guys make the mistake of when they go to get the saw, where's my... They want to be lazy. So they grab the chainsaw tool. Okay? And they put it down in the hole. And they don't give a damn. They just go and turn it. That's why these are all wallered out. Instead of taking it, you can grab something even a little more blunt, not so sharp. If it's in the same spot, put it sideways. Use your fingers to help and turn it. A lot of times, these chainsaw wrenches, the flathead is actually sharp, and they end up poking it through, and it pokes a hole here in the cap. So the cap there will have a hole in it. Sometimes you can hold it up and maybe see light through it, and that'll tell you, oh, my cap's bad. Actually, this one looks like, oh, I thought this one was bad for a second. Okay, so, or the cap can have a crack in it. That could make it leak. But if the saw's setting on its side like this, that shouldn't happen. There's an issue there. There's one more reason. How dare you question the Yoda of saws? Yes, I know, I'm so sorry, but this is just, somebody's got to do it. You can screw that cap down so tight it cracks. Yep. Yeah, there's no need to finger tighten them. That way when it's time to take them off, you can use your fingers to do that. He's embarrassed himself so many times starting a saw, and his saws, the fit is so crap with a lot of it. Stuff rattles apart just using it. The caps fall off. I can't count how many videos I've been watching, and the side plate falls off the bar cover, and it's like, dude, what is your deal? Now, if you've ever had an old chainsaw, and even new ones, all of them, they'll get to leaking when they're just sitting there, and that'll make you wonder, what's going on with my saw? Why is my saw actually leaking oil? Because the cap's good. I didn't do nothing. I didn't mess the cap up. So what is it? Here's where this is a bit of a trick, tip trick, whatever you want to say. So, I mean, I guess we could pop that off and I could actually show you it to a T. Let's see, what do we got? I don't even know if those things will pop off there, but we can try, guys. Let me move this back a little bit and I'll talk with you guys and we'll see if we can pop that off. I don't know that I have the right size, but I will check. Ooh, that was close. That is it. Shoot. Okay. Well, let's see. I like this, instead of using a wrench, that quick jerk on it that it does helps break that first bit loose, especially when it's rusty. Okay. So I didn't want to have to do all this, but at the same time, I want to show you it, and it actually makes sense, because this is a fix for almost any kind of chainsaw. So, you see that capped, okay. Feeder hose from the reservoir turn. Yeah, also that there. Well, I guess there is another thing back in here behind the clutch plate. This is all the junk stuff that I took off of a 180, and I put all the old parts of a 170 on a 180, and took all this stuff off. It actually worked. Took me a while to make it work, but yeah, I hated all this stuff. Look at how silly this is. You take the side plate off like that, it flips up, And then your chain tensioner is this stupid little plastic thing that don't do nothing. It breaks. So you have a oiler that's back behind this plate right here, and sometimes the hose to it will crack and be messed up. So it could be that, or you have an actual oiler. I guess on this thing it comes out somewhere else. I've never looked at this. Or is it corroded so much I can't even see it? Okay, yeah, oiler comes out back over here. Back behind this little gear. I don't like that gear. That's silly. I don't like it at all. But yeah, that's their design. But you could have the little hose there could be messed up. But here's that one where it's just something that happens to these older saws. And I had this issue. I had no idea that this is what it was, and I tried everything, and I could not figure out why my chainsaws were always leaking oil, and it became like a complete obsession of mine, to where it was like I'm not stopping until I figure out. I hate this side thing. I'm not stopping until I figure out how this is happening, because this is not right. There's something going on here. So, after researching it enough, I did run across somebody that actually understood it and knew what it was. And he showed me this. I can't remember. It may have been Steve's small engine. Because I want to give credit to anybody that I get the info from. Because too many YouTubers go out, steal other people's content, and then regurgitate it and try to get views from it and don't give any credit. But, some saws have a plastic oil pump that runs off the crankcase push. Yeah, like the carb. Okay. Yeah, most of these are a little metal one like that, and it does have that little gear that you want to make sure all that stuff works back behind that plate. But a little trick that you can do with your chainsaw, if the oiler's not working totally correct, there's an oil adjustment spot on most of these saws. I'm thinking, here's that 170 that I told you I put all that stuff onto. So I kept the parts of the 170 that I liked, but I took all the other 180 parts and then made them fit on this 180, and then opened it up a bit, and it was a screamer until old Dave pretty much blew it up. But it's usually an oil spot up underneath here. Oh, usually a hole right there. So there's a hole right there, and you put a little screwdriver back in there, and you can increase your oil on these. So you can turn that up. If when you run out of gas, you notice, like I'm running out of gas every time, but I still have plenty of oil. Well, your oiler's not working correct then. So you want to try to adjust your oiler out as much as you can. Or you just have one of those. Nope, it does not. There's a 190. Or it may be a 191. I think it's a 190. I totally redid. Let's see this one. This one has it, doesn't it? Yeah. So on a top handle, an actual top handle 200T, it has an oil hole right here. You put a little screwdriver in there and adjust your oiler out. Most top handles, like your 201 and stuff, have that same thing. So you can adjust and make sure that you're getting the adjustment all the way up if you're still got a bunch of oil left over every time when you finish a tank of gas, because you should be getting close on both. Or a little trick that I will do is I will run a little bit of gas in the oil, and that'll help thin it out and try to help push, like, you know, because what happens, if I'm being honest, what happens, I think the biggest thing is guys will take this off and they'll lay it on the side, and there's sawdust all over the saw stuck to it where maybe oil poured off, and then they put the cap back on and there's crap all in it. So I try to tell guys, clean off the side where you're going to put the cap before you take it off, and try to make sure when you go to put it back on, it doesn't have anything on it. That's the easiest way to get a bunch of junk into it. Even the best at using a chainsaw will make that mistake. It just happens. I like how this one's got that little window. That's kind of cool. But also, okay, what was we doing? Okay, yeah. So you could thin it out, but here's the biggest problem that I see people end up having. So you pop your muffler off, and this is almost every steel chainsaw, I think, will be very similar to this. I don't know how that switches when you get into the top handles though, but any of your rear handle saws should all be really close to this exact thing. But there's a little cap in here, right here. Awesome. I started to think, I'm like, this damn thing won't end up having one, and I will have wasted all this time. The problem is when you go to look in here for this, if you don't remove that, you would never know that this is back here. And it makes a lot of guys think their oiler's stuck and that it's pouring out over here on the side, because the oil is actually coming out of back here where the muffler is in that corner, and it's coming out here, and it's making it look like it's down by your bar, but it's not. Let me show you this. Do I have that light? I think I do. Well, no, I don't. Let's see. Oh, I can bring you guys over here. Dang it. See this little spot right here? I'm trying to get it into the camera where it's able to be seen. Oh, right there. Little spot where it's white. Well, there's a little orange plug that's in that. Right down here. Right there. There's a little orange plug that's in that. I lost the light, dang it. Yeah, there you can see it now. The little white spot. So there's a little plastic orange plug that's in that. And that little plug breaks. It wears out. Especially from the exhaust heating up repeatedly. And then cooling off, heating up, cooling off. That's plastic, so it ends up at one point it will end up wallowing itself out, and it will either break out or fall out, and it will always, no matter what, it will pour your oil out. And I'm sure, like, I would almost bet money that that's his issue with his saws, is that, and he'll never admit that and try to fix that, because he would have to admit fault at some point for that to be true. But I assure you, the reason he is giving, where he said that the reason that saw isn't running right is because you overfilled the gas or the oil, that's wrong. That is 1,000% wrong. There's nothing about that that's halfway right. And I'm not cool with him just completely lying. I think that's lame as hell. And that's why I don't hope that things work out for him. Because I feel like he's being shady. There's no need to be shady like that. Like, you want to have people trust you. And he does so many things that are very untrustworthy at times, and he comes off looking like some kind of cutthroat, skeezy dude who's just trying to take advantage of you and get your money. But maybe not. I may be wrong. He may be totally fine. But I guess I showed you that, but I didn't tell you how to fix it, huh? Now you can look it up. Um, some saws have a plastic oil. Okay, having an oil wide open can make one leak. The new flip open caps you have, you keep clean. Yeah, yeah, all the caps, you try to keep them clean. Those new flip open caps will mess up and they won't seed right. There's a little gasket that's on them you gotta get. But that, especially for any older saws, that is usually why they're leaking. Almost every time. And all you gotta do is buy a little screw at like a hardware store. There's a little screw that you would screw right into where that plastic's at and take the place of the plastic, and it'll be the new stopper. That's basically all you're doing is plugging it. I personally don't understand why it's even open. Why they would need to have that hole there and need it, because it doesn't really make sense because they plugged it anyway with a plastic cap, and that shows you like it's orange too to match the rest of the saw. So that's like, I don't know. I'm trying to understand what, if for some reason that's a part of the mold and like that's something they can't really fix. It's always going to have that hole. Okay, but if there's some way to fix that, that's trash. You should fix that. I didn't think about broke my wrist. So try that. Right behind your muffler, take that little cap. I'm trying to think of probably what would be your best way to do it. If the cap's in there and it's leaking from there, you should be able to put some oil in the saw after you get the muffler off there and tip it up and then see if it's leaking out of there. If it's leaking out of there, there's your problem. Um, you could just drill it out, the little plastic piece, drill it out, and then find the right screw. I think if you look it up, they even give you the correct size. They'll tell you, because I think this ends up being an issue that maybe they don't do it anymore. It may not be something they do anymore, because they told you the solution to fix it, almost like it was a manufacturer defect, and they kind of treated it that way when I looked it up. So that could be the main reason with that. That could just be like a manufacturer issue where they needed that hole in the casting for the molding, and then afterwards it's not practical though for the actual application of the saw, and when it's put together it ends up just giving a weak point where it can start to mess up is basically all it is. So plug the hole. That's right, Billy. That's right. The new flip open. Okay. Donnie Walker did a video a while back about plugging it. Oh, really? What's up, old fort? How are we? Um, Donnie Walker did. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think Steve's Small Engine is the one I ended up actually that I watched and seen. And I had never seen anything about it before, but I always knew, like I knew that I had saws that were leaking from there. But I always thought that I never took the muffler off to even look. I thought it was from the way it was setting, and it was the oiler on the inside. And it turned out not to be the oiler. I would replace it. It would still be leaking. Finally, I looked it up, and I came across his. But yeah, Donnie is he's a master. So a chainsaw master, Donnie would be one of them for sure. Definitely. So yeah, if you don't mind, hit the thumb button. I'm about to let you know my guy Nation's Climber. Um, he put out a video. That's Daryl. He's if you guys ever see that grapple hook that I use, that's the extendable pole. It goes out like 20 something foot. Steve plugs them with bamboo. They work great. Really? I figured he'd use a butt plug, but you know, that is what it is. Steve plugs them with bamboo slivers. They work great. That's so funny. Um, so the Nation's Climber, I believe that's Daryl Clue, or I can't remember his last name. I messed up, but he wants to go by the Nation's Climber. Uh, you know, just I believe a soldier. So I respect the piss out of him for everything he's done for us. Thank you. But also a pretty smart feller, just in general, that seems to pick up on things and have a need to understand them. So he gets very detail oriented with a lot of his stuff. Yeah, Daryl McHugh. Yeah, yeah. So he put out a video, 5800 model chainsaw from Timu. So Will I am, how are we? So he goes to Timu, and I believe Timu is like, I don't do Facebook, so I think it's just like what, like Amazon. What's the other ones? Well, I'm blanking right now. eBay. I can't forget eBay. That's like part of life now. So he went on Timu and looked up a 5800 chainsaw. I believe Chinese Amazon. Yeah, I believe the saw that I see metal and wood talk about the most is the 5800 chainsaw. 5800s are the best. Get you a 5800, 5800, 5800, 5800. That he just totally goes crazy about those saws. You got to get one. These are the best. These are the best. These are the best. And I'm like, okay, right on. Well, I don't even know why they're called a fit, but whatever. So he just put out a video where he showed a couple metal and wood did, and he let a guy choose. One was like orange, and the other one he called a Bugatti because it was green and gray. I don't know why. It just had some unnecessarily rounded fancy plastics where I want strong covering plastics with a good working product. I don't really care about the silly color of it. Um, he had somebody leave a comment who said, I don't really like the way the 5800 sounds, but I'm sure you'll impress me with the way it looks, but I'm sure you'll impress me with the way it runs. So then he shows a chainsaw that legit looks like a little kid's toy you get from like the dollar store, where it would have like a little gun that would have like a little orange plastic stopper thing on it. And he pulls one of them out and he goes, not only am I going to impress you with how it runs, this one will impress you with its looks. It's beautiful. It looked like the cheapest thing I'd ever seen. Like, god awful. I would be, somebody'd have to give it to me for me to even use it. So, I don't even think he started it. And he thinks he impressed people with how it looked. I want to know, anybody who does follow him and does talk with him, I want to know what he sells a 5800 chainsaw for. How much is he selling them for? Because my guy, Nation's Climber here, was straight up with everybody. He said, I went on Timu, found this 5800 model chainsaw, paid $80. This little saw he's got runs very, very good. Seems to be solid. I think a lot of times with a lot of those products, checking to make sure that everything is tightened up, because assembly I feel like is where a lot of times where the corners are being cut. I don't even think it's so much manufacturing. They try to stay pretty detailed with that because they want it to run and everything. But assembly a lot of times with some of those products is where they cut some corners and you'll be using the product, it'll fall apart or something will fall off of it. So he fired that saw up and it ripped. I've never been so impressed with a cheap chainsaw before as I was with his saw. So I I, I have yet to see one of metal and wood saws run half as good. Even when his buddy Najawa, I think's his name. I, he still refuses to show his face. That tells me he's embarrassed. Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it because it's very clear You can get one of them chainsaws for like $80, and I'm sure if I okay, no, I'm not sure. Everything I say is alleged because I don't want to end up being sued for everything I don't have. I don't even know what you could sue me for. I don't got nothing, except for a pretty wife and a even prettier daughter. But yeah, I don't know, man. Um, I'm just if I was to guess, I would say he probably sells them around 250 to 350. If I was guessing. And that wouldn't surprise me at all if he was selling them around that mark. Hey, if you guys don't mind, hit the thumb. We got a lot of people here. That's wild. So, and thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. There must not be much going on for me to have this many people. But the old Schroeder, Jeff Schroeder, also went out and has been grinding. He went out and met Veterans Tree Service, Tim, and he went to work with Guilty of Treason. So, Jacob, check out all those videos. Jeff just put them out. I haven't got to see them all, but I checked a few of them. Now, here's the issue. I did have an issue, and I'm gonna say it right now. Um, Veterans Tree Service put out a video, dangerous chainsaw skills put to the test. I underestimated this job. Everything with exclamation points. Um, First, I didn't see. I feel like I don't. I don't want to accuse nobody of clickbaiting me, but I feel like I got clickbaited. I feel like there were no dangerous chainsaw skills put to the test. At least he didn't point them out or show them. Maybe he did do something dodgy or sketchy, but I didn't see it. It just looked like using a chainsaw to me. Um, but that was his title. So I didn't see that, but that was the main title. Didn't make any sense to me. Probably done the same thing, so I don't know why I'm pointing it out that he did it, but it is what it is. Uh, Also, he did have the top on one of the trees. About the time Jeff showed up, Jeff stopped in to see him on his way to go hang out with Guilty of Treason. Jacob, on the way there, he stops off, and about that time, I believe Tim was doing the top, and he wanted to send it towards the house, and it went back behind him over his shoulder, and instead of being like, yeah, I messed up, I cut too far through it, or I should have waited for the wind, or you know, you can use that as an opportunity to maybe somebody else could learn something. Like, because I feel like that's where people are gonna. A lot of times, some of these guys are even gonna retain it. They're gonna be like, I respect this guy, and I know he's good, and he made a mistake, and he pointed it out. So that tells me I could do that same thing could happen to me. So I feel like those are so relatable when you could get some of these bigger guys that like have the bigger channels and they can point out like, yeah, it was definitely my bad. I shouldn't have done this or this. But instead he's like, I didn't care. It was hooked up. I mean, it didn't matter to me. Don't don't you dare knock it off. You did care. You wanted it to go a certain way, or you want to put a notch in it. So that's the nature of YouTubing. Sometimes we don't want to. Sometimes the comments can be so mean that it's like I get why people don't, but at the same time you can't take everything so personal. So I'm just playing, but you did not not care. You did care. You just didn't care when it comes to talking about it with Jeff on the ground. I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. But so veterans put out that Seattle Tree Care, which is another one of my favorite channels. It didn't see anything. I didn't either. So yeah, that's the only thing I had to kind of pick at for him. But it was that and then the top. But he couldn't do that. That's kind of what I was thinking. But at the same time, it could have been some wind. It looked like maybe I didn't. I don't know. I don't even know. But that's what happened. Seattle Tree Care put out a video. Those guys are always a lot of fun to watch. Such a huge operation, so technical, and so the operation is insane. Some of the best looking equipment, and they did a tree call or a video called Ballard tree removal. It was a white pine removal with a very little drop zone, so it was cool to see him use all his climbing tricks, and he seems to keep it very simplified and just gets the job done. I think his name's Peter, and Guilty of Treason's worked with him a few times. You've seen him there. And the only thing I don't agree with is the having your chainsaw hooked to you with something rated for life support. I I would recommend people have it hooked onto a loop that would break off of you as opposed to ripping you out of a tree. That's just my opinion. He doesn't think the same. He would not. He don't want his chainsaw to possibly hurt somebody if it fell. So I do understand not wanting a breakaway system that if your saw slipped and fell down, it would break away. That's no good. But it's like trying to find that fine line of where enough is enough, but it's strong enough to keep something crazy from happening. I spent a lot of money and I bought a recoil, the the full reach one, and if I'm being honest, they kind of I didn't like it. I had to sew that thing back together to the point to where I do like it now, but my saw I was using the 150. It weighs half as much as like the 201. If my 150 slipped off my hook because I like hit a little knob on the tree, it slipped off my hook. My saw fell down, and it totally ripped all the threading out of it, and it disconnected and made it like 3 foot longer. It didn't break off completely, but the whole thing, all the threading come out, and it's I guess that's designed to happen. But it happened with this little bitty saw, and I don't see how that could possibly be enough for that to happen. So they said it was that wasn't like their product's not supposed to do that. So they were going to take care of me. They never did. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't have a. I like the product. I use it all the time, but they didn't do right by me, so I wouldn't be like, hey, go get these. These are awesome. And plus, the people are awesome because they kind of made a promise to me and then ghosted me. So it is what it is. Also, what else we get? Okay, Wi-Fi load. Here's my issue. Why does everybody post when Guilty of Treason posts? Like, it. I don't. Okay. So Jacob will, when I say Jacob, I mean Guilty of Treason. Jacob will put out a video, and maybe he worked with Tim from Veterans Tree Service. The problem is, I watch Tim's video because he puts it out first, and then when I go to watch Guilty's video, I've seen the whole thing already, and I don't want to watch it. So that happened multiple times, and now everyone is posting like it's almost like people are waiting for him to post a video and then they post right after. Like it was within minutes. Like that's what's the odds? And it ended up being crazy overwhelming for me because I didn't have enough time to watch everything. Everybody uploaded at the same time, and I'm like, "Geez, come on, guys! Like, just you could follow Jacob around with your nose up his ass and do everything Jacob does. You're not going to be Jacob. That's not the way things work. That's not the way life works. Like, you can work with him and ride the wave and have it benefit you and it can help you. But no more than that. Like, I feel like some people think if they do what he does, that they'll have everything he has. And no, there's something special about the dude. He's cracked the code. He did it twice. So, like, I'm totally down with him. But I feel like everybody they're all trying to be Jacob, including Game of Trees. I just seen a video where now he's got a ported, just so stupid, Husqvarna ported, Redbeard, ported, chainsaw, modified. and he's going to do a raffle where you got to buy his scrunch or his $500 rope with two rings at the end of it, or another product that All Gear makes that he just resells for even more money. Like, I get helping people, but man, some of the products are insanely priced, and I think that's kind of lame, but it is what it is. So if you go, I'm gonna help promote him since I talk a little bit of trash. Go to Game of Trees. He's doing a giveaway, a raffle, and if you buy some of his products, you get entered into the raffle. So basically, he's doing what Jacob did. He's just doing what Jacob did. That's what everybody does now. Everybody do what Jacob did, and then you'll have millions of subscribers too. I think I should start doing that. So, what could I do like Jacob? I could eat a like tube salad or something. I don't know. Buy an Avant. Okay, whatever. But yeah, I don't like that. Stop posting at the same time as everybody. Like you guys aren't a couple. Like knock it off. Put some space into it. Just upload it when you get it done. There's no special time that's gonna make you better. Bucking does that too. Does he? They never had afforded something. Bucking does it too. Jeez, man. I see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I got the vibe that Bucking didn't like Jacob when he went flying by him. Like I feel like that aggravated Bucking, made him a bit mad to the point where he's like, and I think it was probably maybe Jacob's followers talking for him, and it seemed to maybe make Bucking aggravated, but like the come up twice, like, and that's what had to bug so many. If you have any insecurities about any of this, what Jacob did, oh, it tans your hide. It makes you so mad, but get over it. The guy's got it figured out. It's, you know, you could try to do everything he did. There's no guarantee all that's going to happen for you. But, and a lot of people are going to say, well, it's luck. It's pure luck. I don't know how many YouTube channels Jacob's had. I know of him having two, and both of them hit 1 million subscribers so fast that it's stupid. Um, so it just is what it is, man. It just is what it is. Some people are better than you at this. That's just the way it is. Jacob is way better than me at YouTubing, and I'm okay with it. You gotta be, or it's just gonna eat you up inside. He's better YouTuber than you. Get over it. He's got more crap you can buy, or raffle tickets, and gives away a saw or an axe. Yeah, that stuff's silly. Normal giveaways, you don't have to buy crap. It's the law. Yeah, and you know what? They can get in trouble for all these giveaways. There has to be a way. I think technically there has to be a way that if it's an actual giveaway, they have to have a part of it that has a no purchase necessary. Maybe they don't promote it, but I just seen something on this where elderly people will go in in these manors and stuff. They don't have a lot going on. So when they do like truck giveaways and stuff, there's you got to go buy merch from a site, and then it enters you in one raffle ticket per dollar. This that, but all of them have a no purchase necessary also, where you can get on this like site, take this test or something, or do a questionnaire, and then you get to enter it somehow. I don't even know how, but that's what a lot of elderly people do. It they don't have to purchase. Every one of them, I believe, has to has a no purchase necessary, or they it sticks them in this crazy tax bracket for it or something. I don't even know, but I just seen some stuff on it. Yeah, that's old fart. That instantly what popped in my head was my dad when I said it. I sometimes I end up doing that, and I talk and I'm like, dang, I am turned into my dad, which ain't a bad thing. He's a pretty good guy. They'll get away with it until someone calls attention to it. Yeah, Doc. Guilty of treason had his like he had uh the state's gaming call him, and at one point he was doing it wrong and was almost in trouble over it. So he had to fix that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. I don't know. I have I have my feelings about it, but at the same time, I'm not a popular enough YouTuber to to have an opinion because I don't know if I would do it myself. That's the problem. Like it would tickle me to death to like this to be what I do to make a living. Like this is this actually gets me somewhere in life, but it's not practical for me. Like I've seen my slow build, and it's just a labor of joy for me. Like I enjoy the people that I talk to here, and like helping people, and gives me an outlet to do something creative and kind of a community. So you just have to be okay with what you get from it. Don't let someone else being successful bug you. If you have to buy anything, it turns into a raffle. Yeah, yeah, you're right. And then there's a giveaway also, and that's the maybe that's the one where if it's I don't know. There's one of them that has a loophole that you have to have some method that's no purchase necessary because okay, I'm gonna admit one of my guilty pleasures. I probably shouldn't, but we're all friends here, and you guys won't tell nobody, and I know. All right, let me read this comment and think about this before I say it because I may regret it. Credit card is a raffle too. Nice to win. Yeah, it's so awesome when you win stuff. I think it's so cool. Like I won a rope wrench when I was really like I was trying to switch over from regular taut line hitch and Blake's hitch, and I was getting into mechanical stuff, and I won a rope wrench, and I was like, what? Holy cow! And then I won a tether, and it was all mine were giveaways where you send in a picture and they choose your picture, and if that picture is what they want, they use it for like their social medias and stuff. I think it was like West Spur I won one and Tree Stuff I won one, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's that's an issue. I feel like I'll never get big if I don't start selling you guys stuff. So I've been thinking about what I could sell you, and I got a bunch of pens. So you guys could buy these from me, and if when you buy one, okay, if you buy one of these, hey, look at all this. It's like gold. It will enter you into a raffle to get. I'm gonna give you 10 of them. Used chains. So you buy these, like some of them still work. Some of them don't have caps on them or erasers. That one's broke. But you can buy them from me like $10 for a pen, and then you'll get 10 enters in. If you win, you can have 10 everything. 10 used chains. There's not a whole lot left on them. Some of them, the teeth are totally used and like gone, but I used it. That's gotta be worth something. So like, yeah, yeah, let's do that, and then I can become bigger. I'll have 1 million subscribers. I'll think of something new to sell you every time we do this until I have enough money to retire. And sounds good to me. I don't know if you guys are down, but I'm sure I have some crap around here I could sell you. Some old boots. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Intro chains. Yeah. There you go. All right. Yeah. Enough being stupid. You guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I really do. This has been a long one. We got 18 thumbs up there. That's pretty good. Um, let's see what our record ends up being from now on. Like when we end one of these lives, how many thumbs we end up having on it. We'll do this one. This is episode 27 of Tree Talk. We are gonna try to see how long we can go. Every week, this time, talking some BS, being goofy, and having fun. That's basically all this is. Um, I got a couple more things here, but like, I don't know. I should probably just. I'm just being mean here. Oh, yeah, I'm just picking on. I shouldn't do it. That's all like Game of Trees. We're having fun. He he just gives the guy a lot of material. He's not the type of guy to like give you health updates on his life, but he's the type of guy that if anything goes good and he's like better than the average person, he will put it in the video and put it out and like talk about how healthy he is and how amazing he is and how much of a master he is and like I'm not at his age and maybe you need to constantly tell yourself how awesome you are when you get to that age. So I don't want to say much, but like yeah, I don't know. Like if you're that healthy, um, you're huffing and puffing harder than any. Maybe the camera mic's picking up too much because like there are times where I'm watching him, and if he's doing anything where he's moving, he's like, and I'm like, whoa, easy, like, chill. And then the next video, he's like, I just took this test. It says I'm 15 years younger than I actually am, and I only got two bitty pieces of body fat, and I only eat steak, and I don't know. I don't understand people that tell all that weird stuff, especially when you have like a channel that's specific to something. You go off on some silly stuff. I think that's where he loses people's attention because he has many thousands of subscribers. I think like almost 30,000, maybe more than that. But his videos do like 1.2, which is, you know, I don't know, bro. He had a live chat the other day and he answered a bunch of questions for me about my new business. Seems like a nice guy. Who was we talking about? Oh, yeah, I'm not saying he's not a nice guy. He seems like a really nice guy. I don't. I think he's. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. My opinion, he comes off a bit snobby. That's just my opinion. That's who I thought you were talking about. Conlon? Yeah, I mean, he is okay. That's one thing I was gonna say. He's a guy that loves to teach. He loves to tell you and give you information that you don't have. That just seems like that's what he seems good at it too. He over explains things, gets very technical with them. That's not a bad thing. It's just not my style. Like I don't want to watch something where the entire time someone is searching for useless little information to give me at times that like so I have a whole lot to do with it and then the opinions come in and I feel like sometimes when he interacts with people with their homes he's like maybe a bit rude and I don't know. I'm just teasing. I'm just poking a little fun. I don't none of it's personal. I'm sure he's a really nice guy. I just don't like I respect his gig. I respect everything he's done. I respect the level he's accomplished, and the things he's learned, the knowledge he has. Like, I don't doubt any of that. But at the same time, I wish he would stick to his confident self instead of trying to be the older version of Jacob at times. So that's just the part that kind of, I don't know. But anytime he can teach you something or give you some information, like, I feel like that's what you see him kind of shine in those areas. So you asking him about business, dude, that's his cup of tea. That's where he's gonna step in. He's gonna be good. Like, I feel like he's probably an amazing crew leader, guy that would be the first guy on the crew. But I also feel like he's the guy that would be like would would tell you he's better than most climbers, even though I don't think so. I think he's crazy, got a crazy amount of knowledge, but there are points where you can see him being restricted now, and it may be because of age, and it may be because he doesn't do it enough at times. And I think tree work, climbing especially, that's a major thing. You take a few days away, it feels so foreign at times when you come back. Repetition builds confidence, and maybe that's it. But yeah, I don't mean anything by it. I was poking a little bit of fun. He's probably a great guy. I don't see him doing anything malicious to people or being crazy mean or anything. I just see in a group of guys, I feel like he's not the type of guy that could ever take a back seat. He's got to be center. But, maybe I'm wrong. That's social media for you. Yeah. That's you got to play that game. Yeah. Okay. Question for you: what's a favorite friction hitch to climb on with rope wrench? Well, um, I use the VT a lot. Then, if the VT doesn't give you enough friction, there's a knot called the XT, and it works really, really good. But if I'm being 100% honest, Conlon, there are better friction hitches out there for the wrench. I personally didn't get into them before I switched off onto a different climbing device. So there's like the Matt Cornell hitch, the Schwabish is really good. The thing you're looking for with a friction hitch is you want something that gives you all the friction and has minimal amount of setback. So when the device compresses, the wrench compresses and the knot compresses, when you put your weight back into it, how much do you drop? So you want that to be, if you're somebody that doesn't bother, the VT has 3 wraps and then it crosses, crosses, crosses. So at them crosses, that's all going to compress and you're going to have that much setback. So just depends on the setback. For me, I use the VT a lot. It's very simple to tie. And when the VT needed a little more friction, I use the XT, which is, it's the VT with an extra little twist. VT is nice to climb on, but I like the Schwabish because it's fast to tie and untie. Yeah, and I think Chris may be onto something there. I think the Schwabish is probably going to give you less setback, and it will need field dressed less. The VT at times you do have. I would find myself if I was using it a whole bunch, I would have to reset, field dress everything. Sometimes it would get twisted up a little. But try the Schwabish. I think let's go with Chris. Chris seems like he knows what he's talking about, and what he said there makes sense. Try the Schwabish. Let's see if you maybe like that. But here's one thing I want to say before I leave. I'm not going to say where I've watched this. I'm just going to say when you're doing a tree, you guys are doing crane work out there. There's no reason for you to take your climb line and throw it over a single branch and make a huge crane pick. Because I've seen it happen many, many times before in videos. I don't even have to see it in real life. In videos where the limb gets cut, it comes off, and it breaks a branch. It drops down, moves, tips, does whatever, and it breaks a branch. Well, if that's your only what you're tied into, you then fall. More than likely, you're going to have your lanyard, so you may be all right. But let's say one of them times you forget and you're only tied into the branch. So when I say that, so you got a big tree going up, it's got rungs of branches. You go up, you take your rope, and instead of going around the trunk where you know it's going to be secure and safe, you take your or your rope and you throw it over a little branch, and you're like, that'll work. Well, what if something breaks off? What if something comes out of that top? What if something hits that branch? You lose your tie-in point for what? For 2 seconds extra of reaching around and hooking it in? I feel like it's silly laziness, and I see it happening a lot in tree work nowadays, and I wish it would stop before somebody gets hurt. So I get why a guy would do it as he's working. If you're it like I don't even like it when I see guys do it just normal doing a tree or a removal. More or less when it's crane work. Crane work, it's goofy. So guys, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate everybody hit the thumb button. Anybody who left a comment, I'm always here to answer any comments. So if you got a question, leave it. I appreciate you guys. Um, yeah, let's do it again next week. I will catch you then. And don't do nothing silly because then I have to make fun of you next week. All right? Or actually do silly stuff so I have something to talk about. Thanks, guys. See you next time. See you, Billy.